Sertraline. Medication? More like calcification. The myopic solution. Replacing anxiety with apathy. Losing focus. Focusing on what I've lost. My thoughts circle the drain. Both hope and fear falling in turn. A rudderless raft left to drift upon the dead, calm lake. Fog obscures the bank. Fog obscures desire. I am far too calm to stay safe. Life and death seem equally desirable. I drift. Cold rationality, the last remaining life preserver. The small, subtle voice whispering that this too shall pass. The sun will shine, the wind will blow, and I will have purpose once more. So, that's a poem I wrote yesterday about my experiences on sertraline, on the first attempt of medication. I've had a rough few weeks. A lot of anxiety, a lot of stress related to money, relating to probably having to move houses. The landlord is selling the house. And a variety of other things. I decided to do a few days at my old job and that sort of sent my mental health plummeting. I needed to use Valiums and other interventions to basically survive, stop the panic attacks, all that stuff. And I was in a real shit state. So I went to the doctor, had a good chat, got put on sertraline with, a program or a process to build it up over time. That's all fine. But as that poem indicated, the medication wasn't or isn't a great fit. I've decided to stop taking the medication. I'm going to see him later today, the doctor, to sort of talk about the options. I only just got put onto it and I'm aware that it takes a while for the medication to work. But for whatever reason, it was impacting me quite significantly. I don't feel anxiety. I'm not anxious. But I wasn't feeling much of anything. In fact, to such an extent that I was just sort of sitting there catatonically staring. I felt slurred of voice. My connection to my creativity was all but gone. And thoughts of continuing life or death were just the same weight. I didn't care. I had no desire to exercise, no desire to train jiu-jitsu that I love, usually. No desire to connect to anyone. Just, it was like there was like a glaze upon the world, a calcification. It was terrible. But it did show me what life was like without anxiety, which is lovely. So I'm sort of in this weird state of going, okay, well, maybe there's, a medication option that will work for me. Maybe the dosage was wrong. I don't know. I'm on a very low dose. So I'm going to speak to the doctor about that because whilst these side effects were fucking terrible and dangerous, the positive effect of not being anxious is incredible. So I'd love to, keep that and sort of get rid of all of the other stuff. So I guess sort of what I'm sharing here is that there is a push, a desire, a drive to get better. But that's interspersed between different competing issues when you're taking medication and that sort of stuff. And look, I'm going to apologize preemptively for the rambling, disconnected nature of this podcast because my brain is still clouded by the medication. I found myself not being able to stay on task, not being able to stay focused. Ooh, it was weird. almost sort of like hyper ADHD symptoms. I could hyper focus on a task, but then not focus as well. It was weird. It is weird. And I just sort of recognized, like, this isn't right, you know. A bit quicker to anger as well. So yeah, I guess this will probably just be a little short update podcast. But it's just something I'm working towards. I do share my ongoing mental state with the world as a way to help people just say, hey, this is the reality of the mental state. This is what life is like. This is what the process of healing is like. You go up and down, and that's okay, and that's normal. I went to my 91-year-old grandma's house yesterday, the day before, and was in the midst of this sort of medication-inspired stupor. Struggled to stay awake. I ended up just laying on the couch, and it sort of freaked her out. And I'm like, far out, maybe I should have just not gone. Maybe I should have acted the part. Maybe I should have done something to, you know, not have things impact like this. Not have a worry. And it's like, I can't. This is the reality of the situation. And it was sort of validating that I felt seen. I struggle to feel seen a lot. But then I also feel guilty for worrying her. But it is the reality of my situation, and it is worrying to me. And this sort of guilt feels sort of intellectual. I'm going to give her a call and be like, hey, you know, I am fine. I am seeing the doctor. But it's not great. But I can only be myself as I am in the moment. So I guess I sort of have to just continue down that path, hey? So yeah, what I'm trying to say is I will keep you updated on the process of the medication. And if you are struggling and medication is an option for you, consider doing it. Even though I've had a bad experience, I'm not going to stop. Like I've said over the time, medication saved my life in the past. And I'm not against it, excuse me. See, I'm still yawning and I'm still sort of out of it. I'm not against it now despite the negative impact of this one. It is a process, it's a balancing act, it's worth finding something that works for you, because it may just make the quality of your life a lot better. So I'm going to read the poem again, then I'll sign off. Sertraline. Medication. More like calcification. The myopic solution, replacing anxiety with apathy. Losing focus, focusing on what I've lost. My thoughts circle the drain, both hope and fear falling in turn. I am lost, a rudderless raft, left adrift upon the dead calm lake. Fog obscures the bank. Fog obscures desire. I'm far too calm to stay safe. Life and death seem equally desirable. I drift. Cold rationality, the last remaining life preserver. The small, subtle voice, whispering that this too shall pass. The sun will shine, the wind will blow, and I'll have purpose once more. Have a great day. Look after yourself, okay?